So you would remember us doing distribution. You would remember us talking about like terms. You will remember us talking about order of work, where we spoke about the order. And so now we're going to sort of combine everything, and we're just going to do a lot of questions that is going to test our knowledge and make sure that we understand and that we know, what it is that we're doing. So we're doing this first one. It's not anything new. So I'm expecting at least a few hands this lesson to help me with questions, not specifically for this one, but please do join me and answer questions. So we're looking at A for now. Don't worry about B. We'll deal with B when we get there. Look at A. And when we are looking at A, can somebody tell me what is the first step you think that we should follow? What's the first thing we need to do? Yes, Rory sang.
Ma'am, we do the brackets first, like bed mass, bot mass.
100%. So what do I do with the brackets though?
Ma'am, you do the sums in it, then you write it down.
Okay, you said I do my sums in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what sum am I doing? Am I saying x minus 7?
Ma'am, what do you say?
So can I say 2x minus 7? Is that what you mean by do the sums in it?
Ma'am, like they're not like terms. I don't think.
Yes, you're
Oh,
correct.
I'm not sure.
So
Yeah.
we see now we don't
So,
have like terms in our bracket. So now what?
ma'am, I think we keep it the same.
Remember there's this imaginary 1 here, Rory-san. What do I do with this imaginary 1 in front?
Uh, um, you. That's also not like terms 5x minus 1. Oh, I distribute.
You distribute. Can you help me with the distribution?
Uh, 5. I'm confused.
Okay. So let's take a step back. Let me explain to everybody and you as well, Rory-san, what we're doing. So the first thing that we want to do is, remember we're following BidMass. So the first thing I want to do is remove my brackets, okay? In order to remove my brackets, in removing my brackets, I first ask myself, are there like terms in my brackets? Are there like terms in my brackets that I have to, add or subtract? Can I subtract like terms in my brackets? If there are no like terms in my brackets, the next thing that I do is distribute. Okay. Now I want you guys to see something. We always distribute with brackets, but if I have a positive outside a bracket, and let's just say this was 2x minus 7, we're always going, when we distribute our positive in, we're always going to get the same sign. So here, when I distribute a positive 1 times 2x, it's going to give me positive 2x. And positive 1 times negative 7, a positive and a negative, is still going to give me a negative, and 1 times 77. So you can see that I've distributed this 1, this invisible 1 in front of my brackets. I've distributed it into my brackets. But because the sign was positive, it stayed the same. The real trick comes when we have a negative. When we have a negative outside the bracket, look at what happens. We go 2x minus 7, and now we have this invisible 1. When we have to distribute in with this invisible 1, what happens is, because we distribute the 1, including the sign, it's now a negative times a positive gives me negative 2x. and a negative here gives me a positive 7. So I want you guys to see that in both cases, I distributed. Sometimes you may think, oh, when it's positive, we don't distribute. No. When it's positive, we do distribute, but because it's positive, the signs will stay the same. It's when it's negative that the distribution gets tricky and starts changing things. And so, Lucille, I see you're asking, invisible one, how does that work? It kind of works like if you think about x, right? If you look at an x, we know this x has an invisible coefficient of 1. And so all of our brackets also have an invisible coefficient of 1. And so when it's something like a negative bracket, it's actually a negative 1 times my bracket. And so because I have this multiplication, I have to distribute that multiplication into my bracket. So I hope that that answered your question, Lucille. And I hope, Rory Sang, that you're seeing this distribution and that it's making sense. Now that I've explained this, Rory Sang, do you want to come back and tell me again, how do I do this?
Yes, ma'am, I wanna try.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, do I pick up where you left off, or should I like start all over?
Yeah, start here. We're on A, right? Where I put the equals to sign. What's the first thing I need to put down?
Uh, I think you have to I think you have to put down uh the brackets.
Okay, so I just want to show you something quickly. When we're dealing with these expressions, we only really deal with one part of the expression at a time. And so the parts that we're not dealing with, we just bring it down in that step. So the first thing here is this 5x. Am I dealing with it now in the step that I'm dealing with brackets, Rory Sang?
Oh yeah, yes, ma'am, and they are like terms also.
And they're like terms. You're right. It just so happened. But this 5x, we're not really working with it now when we're working with our brackets, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down because it's the first thing from the first step. So remember we said our steps want to flow. So I want to see from this step to the next step, how did you get it? What did you do? And so just for the sake of whoever's marking your paper, you want to bring it down in that same manner so that it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So we brought down this 5x. Now we're at the brackets. Now let's do this distribution and tell me what's the answer for the distribution? What do you get once you distribute?
So, ma'am, should I distribute 5x with 2x and 7?
No. So look at what we're doing. We're only distributing the number in front of my bracket, and let me use pink because I was using blue, which is this -1. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are only distributing the -1 into your brackets.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's your answer there?
Ma'am, -4. Negative 4x.
How did you get that?
Ma'am, I minus 5x, so -1.
Okay. So I see where you're getting confused. Let me help you. This is a separate term. Okay. Let's go back and let's think about our order of work. When we think of order of work, the first thing we want to do is identify our terms. Rory-san, can you tell me how many terms there are in this expression?
Ma'am, 3.
3, right? So this is one term. This whole thing is another term. And this whole thing is another term. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then the next thing we wanted to do when we identified our terms was we wanted to simplify our terms. Okay, do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, which term are we simplifying? The green, the pink, or the blue one? What are we simplifying first? You tell me.
Ma'am, the pink.
The pink one. So what I do is I only look at the pink one when I'm simplifying my terms. So what I'm doing, what we did here is we said 5x. So in other words, I'm just bringing down this term because it's as simplified as I can get it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And 8x at the end over here is also, we can't simplify that term any more than that, can we?
No, ma'am.
Right. So can you see I've sort of brought those two terms down because those are as simplified as I can get it.
Yes, ma'am.
Now what I'm doing is I need to leave the space over here because I still need to simplify this pink term. Now when I simplify the pink term, we have brackets, okay? And in order to remove our
Yes,
brackets, you've told me already, I need to distribute. And so this over here, sorry, give me a second. Can you see this over here is really what we are doing? I said, okay, well, this term, it's negative, in brackets, 2x minus 7, close my brackets. Do you
yes,
see that first term there? Now, when I simplify it, I need to remember, I need to take this coefficient of the bracket and distribute it into my bracket. And so, how are we going to distribute? I'm going to say, well, that means negative 1 times 2x, which is what, Rory-san?
-2.
Negative 2 and negative 2 what?
-2x.
Negative 2x. So can you see I've now done this first distribution over there.
Yes, ma'am.
The next thing we're going to do is now we want to tick off the second arrow. And when we're doing the multiplication on that second arrow, it's negative 1 times negative 7. Can you tell me what that is going to give us? Rory-san, you with me? Hey, Bila. Hey, what is your name? Because I always see you in the chat, but I'm pretty sure Bila is your surname and K is just your first initial. So tell me your name so I can call you by your name, please. Unless you are okay with me calling you by your surname. Itandile, have you come to
Ma'am,
take over? Oh, Rory-san. I think Rory-san is having
I'm
some
back.
connection issues. Okay, Rory-san, you're back. Okay. Can you tell me what negative 1 times negative 7 is?
No, ma'am, I pressed the leave button.
Oh, I see. Okay. Um,
Ma'am,
like
+7.
positive 7. So can you see now that what we've just written here is actually our pink term simplified?
Yes,
Okay. And
yes, ma'am.
so I'm gonna put that in here, negative 2x plus 7. Do you see what I've just done, Rory-san?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Are you following? Does this make sense? You happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You're happy. And then our final step is, what was our final step, Rory-san? Do you remember in our order of work? Once we simplify our terms, what do we do next?
I think I forgot. I think we find out our like terms.
100%. So because I've dealt with my individual terms, I'm gonna erase, undo that. I want to erase my highlighting. Why is that not erasing? Hello. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'll just rewrite that then. 5x and this was 8x. Now let's highlight terms that are like terms. Can you tell me which ones are like terms, Rorisa?
Ma'am, 5x,
Uh-huh.
2x, and 8x.
So you said 2x. You're not wrong, but what I want to remind you is whenever you're talking about terms, include the sign. So it's not
So,
just 2x, it's negative 2x.
yes, ma'am.
And then we have our lonely little positive 7 over there. Now, Rory-san, can you add up these like terms for me?
Ma'am, 5x minus 2x is
Mm-hmm.
3x,
Yeah.
and uh then 3x plus 8 is 11x.
100%. And what do I do with this positive 7 in blue
11x plus 7
plus 7?
added. Yeah.
That is my final answer, Rory-san. You happy?
Yeah, I'm happy now.
Thank you for answering, Rory-san. That was great. And then to everybody who got the answer in the chat, congrats, well done. Kamokelo, I did see you told me your full name. If you're okay with it, I'll just stick with Kamo. Okay, let's look at B now. B. Well done, Miyaho. If I look at B, I immediately, and when I do this, you guys know my numbering usually goes all out of sync. Um, at negative times negative equals. Okay, so I just made space for me to answer B over here. What do I do here? First things first, when I have these fractions, I say to myself, can I simplify anything in my numerator? Are there like terms in my numerator? Or can I simplify anything in my denominator? Are there like terms in my denominator? Well, first things first, I see my denominator only has one term, so I can't add or subtract like terms there. So let's look at my numerator. Can you guys tell me, are there like terms in my numerator? No, you are 100% correct. So where there's no like terms in my numerator, this is now when I have to start breaking up my fraction. If there were like terms, I could add and subtract the like terms and then see what I can do from there. But once there's no like terms in my numerator and there's pluses and minuses, I have to start breaking up my fraction. And so if I break this fraction up into its little parts, it's going to be 8y cubed over 2y plus 4y squared over 2y minus 2y over 2y. Now, in this step I've just written, can you guys tell me how many terms are there? How many terms? Anybody? Kando has said 3, and that is correct. Sorry, I was just making space for me to write. Oh, I see. Sorry, other people. Liaho said 3, and Brie, you also said 3. Yes, you guys are correct. There's 3 terms. And now that I've broken up my fraction, now I can follow my order of work. So the first thing is identify terms. Also, I just had a look at the time and realized that Uma is not here today asking me for the brain break. Um, so we have now identified our terms. The next thing we need to do is we need to simplify our terms. Does anybody want to help me simplify these terms? Would it be 4y squared for the first one? Well, let's look at it. I can apply SNV. And so let's check what Alia is saying. Well, my first term is a division. It's really a term that's asking me to do division. And when I do division, I know I can apply exponent rules if my bases are the same. And in this case, yep, they're the same. So let's apply SNV. I just got a notification saying my internet connection is unstable, which is weird because I'm plugged in like directly into my Wi-Fi. Anyways, if you guys see me glitching, please let me know so I can try and fix that. Um, but for now, let's apply SNV to my first term. And so I'm going to highlight them as well. So that's going to be my green term. That's going to be my blue term. And that's going to be my pink term, obviously including the signs. And so let's apply SNV to the first term. Well, my signs, it's a positive divided by a positive. So we're going to keep our answer here as positive. Let's divide our numbers. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And let's do our variables. It's y cubed divided by y to the power of 1. I know my exponent rule says if it's division, same bases, I keep my base and subtract my exponents. And so 3 minus 1 is going to be squared. And so Alia, that was the exact answer that you gave me. And so very well done for that. Yeah, soon. Next, we're going to simplify our second term. Anybody want to simplify with me in the chat or in the chat or raise your hand, maybe talk to me. I'll start so long. Again, I see division. Okay, someone is asking me, who was it? Kamo, you're asking me what is SNV? Well, SNV is, and I kind of want to write it big now to simplify. So we go SNV. So what happens is this is a method we like to use, or I like to use. This is a method I like to use when we are simplifying my terms. I'm only going to use SNV when I'm simplifying something with division or with multiplication. So keep in mind, this is only when I'm doing division or multiplication. When I have fractions, I know it's division. And so this is like a set of rules to help me with simplifying. And so the first thing we do is we multiply or divide our signs. And so in this case, it was division. So we divide our signs. So I said a positive divided by a positive gives me a positive. The next thing we did is we either have to multiply or divide our numbers. Here, for our first term, my numbers were 8 divided by 2. If I divide my numbers, because remember I'm dealing with division, 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's how I got that. And then if I divide my variables now in this case, it's y cubed divided by y, and that gave me y squared. So I hope that helps. Come on. And so let me just write this in over here. And this is variables. So it's just really an order of what you need to multiply or divide first. Okay, for our next term, I see some answers in the chat. Let's have a look at it. So our next term, it's a positive divided by a positive. So I know my answer is going to be positive. Next thing is numbers. It's 4 divided by 2. So I know my answer is going to be 2. And then it's y squared divided by y. We're now on our variables. Y squared divided by y is going to be y. So I saw everybody got that in the chat. Good job for that. And then our last term, again, we have division. So I'm going to use SNV and divide my components in order. And so it's you could say a negative divided by a positive because it was a minus. Look at how we broke it up. It was minus 2y and a positive 2y. So it's a negative divided by a positive, and that is going to give me a negative. 2 divided by 2 is going to give me 1. And then y divided by y is going to give me y to the power of 0. But can you guys tell me, what is y to the power of 0? What is anything to the power of 0? It's just 1, which in other words means I'm just saying -1 multiplied by 1, which is just 1. And I see iPad over here. Zach, is that you? I feel like I haven't heard from you in like ages. Let me rename you super quickly. Um, rename Zach change. Okay, there's that. And so, ooh, sorry if you heard that. And so, my step, I've now simplified my terms. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add or subtract my like terms. Now tell me, guys, do I have any like terms over here? That's okay, Zach. No. So this is my final answer. I cannot simplify it more than this. Are we all happy? Can you please give me a thumbs up if you are following, or a thumbs down if you're like, man, what is going on? I am confused. Or you raise your hand, ask me the question before you even have to give me a thumbs down. Okay, I'm seeing some 3 thumbs ups. You can be says yes. I don't know, yes to what exactly. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands. I'm gonna move on to our brain break. And sorry, Liacho, I know you always tell me these things are too hard for you. Me too, but and I made this one harder, just by the way, because apparently, oh, now you guys can see the answer. How do I undo that? Um, yeah, last time you guys got it so quickly, so I did a harder one. Now no one's getting it. Back to school is the theme. I feel like number 3 is notebook. That's correct. Number 2 is homework. That's also correct. Uh, so we have notebook. We have home. What? Yes, Rory sang the cringe joke at the end. Um, Alia says 6 is backpack. B is, well, that looks right. Backpack. Uh, Lucille says 9 is ruler. Yes, that's right. Yes, Liaho.
Ma'am, this word thing, ma'am, it's so tough, fish.
I also think so. I don't know how people get it because I sat here when I saw it, I was like sitting here staring at this thing, and the only one I figured out by myself was homework, which is number 2. The rest of
True,
them,
yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. Number 1 is studied, come on, fellow. So we have studied. I think I missed somebody. 8 is projector. P R. It can't be projector because there's only one R. P R O. So I'm thinking it's just project. P R O J E C T. Yes. Katie. No. Yeah. Katie saying voice subject. Yes, Rory.
No, ma'am, I wanted to say number 9, Mara. Already got it.
What is it? Oh, yes. Yeah, everybody's so quick. Sorry, Rory. Sorry. Elia. You honestly, you know how people, or not how people, how I sometimes do it is like if you look at 13, yeah, for me and you are gonna work on 13. Nobody get 13. Where you just look, you look DENRIB. Okay. So you put the letters in a circle and you look, you like do random combinations and see what word can you make from these letters. Number 10, studying. I would think so. It looks like it. STUDYING. Okay. Studying. Yeah, how did you get number 13 as yet?
I think I got it, ma'am.
No, there's no two D's, and you must be.
It is what it is, ma'am.
You have to take those letters and unscramble them, so you can't add new letters or miss a letter. So let's try, right? It's like let's go B. Oh wait, BIRD, burden. But obviously, burden is not a word. Okay, burden. Okay, that's not it. Uh, B E R BERN, Bernard? No. Let's try D. Truly, I don't know. If anybody knows number 13, you can help. I haven't been reading the chat. Um, Rind. I don't think it's brined. Um, do we give up? Are we giving up on 11, 12, 13, and 14? Yes, Rory sang.
Ma'am, like, why did you make this like this, ma'am? Like, you, like, this is not a brain break, ma'am. This is just,
Do you remember, Rory sang,
you,
how fast you guys got it last time?
but that one was
So
easier, ma'am. This,
Ma'am, I tried in the chat.
one, I was in a break.
I'm sorry, Rory
I
san.
finally got it. I'm him.
You are him, Liacho. You did it. Did my circle help you? I hope my circle helped at least. Find. We have finished for which one? Kamo, you said rescue for 14. 14 doesn't have a U, so it can't be rescue. Uh, okay. I think I'm gonna show us the answers because I didn't expect you guys not to get it. You guys are just always getting it so fast. Yes, Rory-san.
Ma'am, I think number 14 is scissor.
14. Number 14 can't be scissor. It doesn't have an I.
You,
Yeah. I think this one might be educate. This looks like it. EDUCATE. Oh my gosh, Liacho, I also got one. I think. I hope it's educate. Educate. Number 7 is finished. Okay, that looks right. Finished. Uh, 5 is learning. That looks right. LEARNING. Yo, Alia, you are on a roll. LEARNING. So what are we looking for? 12 and 14. I'm giving us like 10 more seconds before I reveal the answer.
Ma'am, number
Yeah.
14, I think I got it. Actually, nah, I didn't
What?
get it. My bad.
What is that word even, Liaho?
I don't know, ma'am. I just put something, ma'am. I just I don't know. I think I'm just tired. This is not even a brain break, ma'am. This is like something big. I think our brains are even more tired.
I'm sorry. Yes, Rory sang. Oh, I don't know whose hand went up first. Rory sang or Bree? Bree, I'm gonna take your hand first because you are a girl. Yes, Bree.
Ma'am, honestly, where do you get number 4? No, sorry, number 14. Ha,
I don't know. I feel like
yo.
it could be recess. You know, like American people. RECE.
Ma'am,
Is that
I was thinking of creases.
Oh, and I saw Lucille also has it. So I'm thinking, yeah. I think we got 14 is recess free. If anyone
Okay,
doesn't
ma'am.
know what is recess, recess is like the American word for break. And then we have number 13. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Nkuli, do you have the answer for me?
Ma'am, I kind of do have an answer.
What's your answer?
Ma'am, it's a mal score something. I just did this to save people more time, ma'am.
There you go. It is classroom.
It was
Wow.
classroom.
That was hard. I would have never gotten that. Uh, yes, Nkuli, it was classroom, but good
I feel so
try.
defeated.
Oh, I didn't see. Come on, I'm sorry. Where did you say? Oh, you did. You did. You did. Kamo got it, everybody. Kamo told us it was classroom. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, Liaho.
Ma'am, check, ne? Ma'am, so yeah, I think we should do this, ma'am. This word thing, ma'am. I think we should just have it once a month. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do then, though.
Alright, then maybe let's play like game. One must go. But it's gonna be
I'm
boring
out of
playing it all the
one
time.
must goes. Yeah, I'm out of them. I don't know what to put anymore. It went
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
for yeah,
But
I'm
anyway,
out of
ma'am, you will find something.
I will hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
Um okay. That is our joke, everybody. Why was the school cafeteria clock behind on the first day of school? Because it went back 4 seconds. You know, get it? Like go back 4 seconds, but also the clock was behind 4 seconds. Yeah. That is our joke. Itandili, are you lost or you're just like, that's such a bad joke? Yes, Itandili.
Ma'am, I don't have a sense of humor at all. I don't have a sense of humor. I just don't know. Probably it's because I don't have a sense of humor. If I had a sense of humor, I was gonna get this. But then this is bad. This is bad. Bad, bad, bad,
I
bad.
apologize.
I agree with Dory saying this joke hurts.
I'm sorry, guys. I mean, at least it was fun getting there, you know, kind of fun.
Kind of.
Sorry, Tandini. Anyways, it's fine. We're getting back to maths now in any event. A pie. Uh, I don't think the word scramble has a sense of humor either. Okay, guys. That was it for our joke and our unscrambling. You guys did quite well. I must say. Um, Amo is unmuted. Amo, I'm gonna mute you super quickly. Okay. And then let me open up the chat again. Okay. We're getting back to maths. Back to maths, back to maths, back to maths. I just want to see what we have under here. Yeah, it's about the same thing. I'm gonna do C. I'm not gonna do D, and then I'll do E. Let me tell you why I'm not gonna do D. D is very similar. Once we do C, you'll see how we can, you'll see. Once we do C, you'll see how to distribute. And then D, all it is, it's just distributing as well. And then you carry down one term. So that's I'm not going to do D just so that we can do more examples that are different. So if we look at C, can you guys tell me how many terms are there? Number one, identify terms. Yes, Ethan Wheeler, please ask your question.
Oh, my question, ma'am, is, ma'am, I have a question on if it's a bracket, and then there's a number up. Ma'am, we distribute it. Like, now I got confused when we were doing algebraic expressions and we were also doing exponents where the number was outside and then there was a bracket. And then I did distribution when I was doing exponents, and then I got confused because they said it was wrong. And then when they're doing algebraic expressions, I got it right by distributing. So, ma'am, does only distribution work on algebraic expressions, not on exponents?
So your question is a little bit difficult to answer because it depends on what the question is, the maths question. When we're talking about distribution with exponents, are you talking about when there's an exponent outside the bracket and then you distribute into the bracket?
No, ma'am. It's like the algebraic expression you have right now.
Okay. And you did distribution and you changed the exponents and you got it wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
So I can't really answer your question because I would obviously have to see what it is that you did and if you did everything correctly. But if you've gone and you have done your distribution and said multiply, multiply, and applied your exponent rules correctly, then you should get it correct. Okay?
That's all.
Great stuff. Let's answer the question of before I answer the question of how many terms there are, let's talk to Rory Sang. Yes, Rory Sang.
Ma'am, like, can I help you with this one? This one I'm ready.
Yes, you can. First, questions first, Rory Sang. How many terms are there?
Two.
Why two? Which are the two terms? Can you tell me so I can highlight?
2x to the power 2 is already 1. And then 3x minus 4y to the power of 2 is the other one.
Now,
And
let me
1
tell
plus
you
1 is
why.
2.
Let me tell you why that is incorrect. I'm glad that you've told me this whole bracket is one term. Is that right, Rory Sang? You've told me this whole bracket is one term. And then you said this is also another
Yes, ma'am.
term. But remember what? Can you tell
Yes,
me how do
ma'am.
I know what are terms? How do I know what are separate terms?
Ma'am, I think with the symbol.
Right, they're separated by what? What symbols?
Like symbols like minus, plus,
Mm-hmm. Only
those
minus
kind
and
of
plus.
symbols.
Now, look at these two
Yeah.
terms you've told me about. Are they separated by a plus or a minus?
No.
No. So actually, it's all one big long term because they're not being, remember in our brackets, we ignore the signs inside the brackets, but then there's something next to the bracket,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, but is it separated from the bracket by a plus or a minus?
Mm,
No.
uh, by nothing.
By nothing, right? It's not separated, which means it forms part of the same term. So it's one big term, Rory-san. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we've done
Yes,
step
ma'am.
one. We've identified our terms. Next thing is simplification. What are we doing? How do we simplify here, Rory-san?
Ma'am, I distributed the 2x to the power of 2y.
Mm-hmm. And what was the answers that you got there?
Ma'am, I got 2x to the power of 3y and negative 8y3. Negative 8y to the power of 3.
Negative 8. Okay. Let's look at this first. You're very close, Rory-san. You're missing one step, and let me show you why. Let's first look at, we're going 2x squared y multiplied by 3x. Rory-san, can you multiply my signs for me, please?
Ma'am, your sign, you mean?
So this is a positive and this is a positive, right? What is a
Yeah.
positive multiplied by a positive? What does it give me?
Ma'am, a positive.
A positive. Next, let's multiply our numbers. What is 2 times 3, Rory-san?
Ma'am, 6.
6. The next thing is our variables. What I have left now, I've dealt with my signs, I've dealt with my numbers. So I'm going to erase that, okay? What I have left here now is with my variables is x squared y times x. What is the answer to
Yes.
that?
X, ma'am. Oh, uh, x to the power 3y.
100%. Do you see how I got that?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you see why S and V helps us to get the right answers?
Yes, ma'am.
The next distribution is 2x squared y multiplied by negative 4y squared. So Rory-san, tell me now, multiply the signs. What do you get when you multiply the signs of these two terms?
Ma'am, which two terms?
Yeah, the two I've
Um,
just underlined and now erased.
oh, you get 2x to the power of 2 y,
So
y,
I'm going to
y
stop
to
you
the
there super
power of
quickly.
3.
Just tell me the
Yes,
signs,
ma'am.
Rory-san. When you multiply the signs, what is the answer? What sign do you get out? A positive times a negative.
Oh, a negative.
A negative. Good job. Next, multiply the numbers, Rory-san. When you multiply the numbers, what do you get?
When you multiply the number, when you get uh, 8.
You get 8. Okay? So now we've dealt with my signs. We've dealt with my numbers. With my variables, I have x squared y times y squared. When you do that multiplication, what is your answer there?
X Ma'am, can you please highlight where you are?
Okay, so we're looking at this.
Oh, shall I tell you the answer?
To just this in pink.
Ma'am, x to the power of 2, y to the power of 3.
100%. Do you see, you were close with your distribution, but you forgot to include the other variables, like the y in this case was being multiplied, so you just didn't include my x. So be careful with that, because even though my x squared here didn't change, I still have to include it in my
Yes, ma'am.
answer, okay? Okay, so that
Yes,
is
ma'am.
that, Rory-san. Thank you again for helping me. I hope that everybody is up to speed with where we're at. My last step would have been to add or subtract like terms. But in this case, there are no like terms. Why are there no like terms? Remember, when I look for like terms, I look for the same variables, and so it's a big and. It cannot be just the same variables and then boom, they're like terms. Nope. Yeah, it's six. Sorry about my weird six. Same variable, and it also needs to have the same exponent. And so in this case, they have different exponents. So they're not like terms. And so this is my final answer. There's 1 minute left. I'm sort of going to just show you guys what we would have done here for E. So remember now, when we identify our terms, you guys would know under my square root, that is all one term, and that is another term. Can I simplify y squared any further? No, I can't. So I bring it down as just y squared. Let's try and now simplify my square root. First things first, because it's multiplication under my square root, I am going to finish my multiplication under that square root. And so that would be 4y to the power 4. How did I get y to the power of 4? Remember, it was y cubed times y. It's multiplication. We have the same basis, so I can apply my exponent rule by adding my exponent. So 3 plus 1 gave me the 4. What I then do is I can now square root that term. So I'm bringing my y squared down again. Now, the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of y to the power of 4, remember, we can go y squared times y squared, and that's going to give me y to the power of 4. So the square root of y to the power of 4 is going to be y squared. And then let's look, do we have like terms? Well, yes, we do have like terms. Why do I have like terms? Remember, I'm looking for the same variable. So these do have the same variables, and Itandile has told me yes. I have the same variable and I have the same exponent. So now that I can add them up, well, this is 1y squared. 1 plus 2 is going to give me 3, but not just 3 anything. 3 what? 3y squared. That is my answer. Alias, you've put the answer in as well. That's the answer. And that also brings us to the end of our lesson. I see somebody reacting with a thumbs up, so I'm happy to see that. That's it for today.